Hi, soulful beings. Welcome to Sitting with Ourselves. This podcast space is for the deep discussions and reflections on many different aspects and areas about life and ourselves. From psychology, mental health and well-being, to philosophy, life theories and concepts, and topics related to our society and beyond our world on Earth, we'll have conscious conversations with thought-provoking perspectives. This is our place of being, healing, and staying grounded with our souls. Hello, soulful beings. Welcome to another episode of the Sitting with Ourselves podcast. I'm so glad you're here and have come to join in for today's conversation. Today we're going to talk about the concept of play, what it means to play, why it matters, and how we as adults, grown with responsibilities of life and adulthood, can still reclaim a space for play in our lives, something we had very much of as kids in childhood. I was talking in my last episode about how we can make our lives more fun, exciting, and interesting, especially when life feels flat or meaningless. And one of the points I touched on was the element of play to make it feel more of that. I wanted to talk more about that, and here we are in the next episode to discuss this topic. This session feels like a homecoming with the returning and remembering. Bringing in that childlike nature and sense of fun into our adult lives, we can cultivate this joy and reconnect with our inner child through the essence of play. Somewhere along the way, we start to learn about adult responsibilities with growing up, and we lose sight of the play aspect to just have fun for the sake of it, because of these new expectations and goals that come to front of mind priorities. From a certain point in life, we may forget how to be playful in this sense, but there are ways we can change that softly, slowly, and intentionally. Let's begin with what play is and what it means. In psychology, play doesn't simply just mean typical toys, playgrounds, or childhood, but rather is about a state of mind. The National Institute for Play defines it not by the behavior itself, but the inner experience. The inner experience, including the state of mind one has when present in something joyous, sense of time fades, and there's an internal motivation to return to it again and again. In this sense, play has a few core qualities. It's self-chosen, intrinsically motivated, meaning it's done for joy, not achievement. It can be imaginative, creative, and exploratory. It creates a sense of timelessness, where the world quiets down and you feel absorbed in the moment. And it's free from judgment, free from performance and expectation. Play is a form of human expression that lights us up and helps us adapt, imagine, create, and connect. We knew how to play effortlessly as children, where we didn't think about or need permission to play, be good at it, or be productive. We simply followed what lit us up. Let's dive deeper and get into the foundations. Key thinkers in play research frame play as consisting of several features. And these aren't just what you do, but how you do it and how it feels. According to this view, there are 5 major characteristics. 1. Play is self-chosen and self-directed. It's your choice to do and guide it. 2. It's intrinsically motivated, whereby you do it for the sheer joy of it and not for some external reward or outcome. 3. There is a mental structure internally by your own rules, as such that there may be a game of some sort guiding it in your mind, and this wouldn't be imposed from the outside. 4. Play is imaginative and creative in some way. There's freedom, possibility, novelty, and experimentation. And 5. It's a playful state of mind. You're alert, engaged, mentally active, yet relaxed. Time may blur, and you're free from the stress of external judgment. When these align, play becomes a state of being. It lights up the brain, and in this play state, we may feel deeply focused, alive within our souls, and creative. we perceive time to seem slow or disappear completely, and that's part of what makes it nourishing and restorative. Especially in a world where everything feels fast-paced, continuously moving, like we're running out of time, this is where play can allow us to step out of that world for a moment, into a different space, experience, and state of being. What we had as children could be called a blueprint for joy. When you think back to your younger self, a version of you that still exists within, a child full of curiosity and endless imagination, what did they love? What did you love as a kid? Ask yourself this and take a moment to reflect and really think about it. Did you enjoy drawing, running, building things, climbing trees, rolling down grassy hills, playing hopscotch, pretending and role-playing, storytelling, singing, dancing, daydreaming, asking lots of questions, writing stories, laughing at things adults didn't find funny? Whatever you loved and enjoyed doing as a child. Back then, they weren't just hobbies, but you could say they were expressions of you, an important part of yourself and who you are. I want to open up another conversation within this topic on the role that play has in childhood for the brain, body, and soul, including for us when we were kids and also becoming adults. Through childhood play, we learn to regulate emotions, negotiate and connect, build resilience, be creative, explore possibilities, and feel joy without needing a reason to. When we transition into adulthood, this stage of life's arrival brings with it structures, schedules, responsibilities, expectations, and many of us forget or tuck away those playful parts of ourselves. It's not necessarily always because we outgrew them and these behaviors, but also potentially because we thought we had to. You can see where the expectations of becoming and being or acting like an adult can come into this idea of having to change and put the playfulness we had as kids away. We often think of play as something only children do, and for many reasons that makes sense. For children, play is foundational. Their brains at birth aren't richly wired yet, so through play, exploration, imagination, interaction is where they build neural connections that form the bedrock of lifelong physical, social, emotional, and cognitive capabilities. Play is critical for children and supports child development in multiple domains. First is physical development, including motor skills, coordination, and spatial awareness. Next, in cognitive and creative growth, through imaginative play and pretend scenarios, creative storytelling or building, children learn to think symbolically and expand their inner world. Another is social and emotional skills, where children play together, learn about sharing, cooperation, empathy, communication, boundaries, and conflict resolution. These early relational negotiations often happen in playful contexts and offer safe, practice grounds that are less stressful or worrying than in a real-life case scenario. And in resilience, flexibility, and adaptability. Play involves trying, failing, experimenting, and adapting, and that builds creativity, resourcefulness, and emotional resilience. What do we get from this information? In short, play is not only for kids and is not only beneficial in childhood, but something essential in life for all ages. It builds brain wiring, emotional wiring, and social wiring. It teaches us how to move, think, relate, and imagine. Play is one part of life in which our capacity in being human develops. Shifting from childhood to adulthood, as we grow, life layers on responsibilities, duties, and expectations. The freedom and spontaneous nature of childhood play often fades. Many of us begin to believe that play is something we abandon when we become serious grown-ups. However, based on psychology and neuroscientific studies in the body of research, adults remain wired for play. The same neural circuits that respond to play in childhood can be activated in adulthood. Although pure play, in the sense that it's 100% free, self-chosen, intrinsically motivated and playful, does become more rare. What often happens is a blend, whereby work obligations, life admin, external pressures and other worries, such as productivity and judgment, intrude and dim that playful spark. What's great is that adults can indeed still play, and research suggests it's a necessity, not just a luxury. This means we should be treating play as an essential part of our well-being. To play means to support adults in mental, emotional, and physical wellness by reducing stress, supporting relaxation, and offering a release from the constant productivity pressures many of us have, like from work or school. As mentioned in the benefits of childhood through to adulthood, it has the elements of enabling curiosity, creativity, and cognitive flexibility. When we allow ourselves to play, we are activating parts of the brain tied to imagination, novelty, and reinvention. Play, together with others, also allows for social connection and deeper relationships, fostering intimacy, trust, and just bringing in that laughter, fun, and lightness into our life. It cultivates empathy, shared joy, and collective bonding. In a world full of pressures, deadlines, and worries, play becomes a balm for resilience and emotional recovery. It becomes a way to connect, reconnect with what nourishes the soul, to rediscover the childhood joys, and calibrate internal rhythms. Play transforms as we get older, and as adults, that transformation may be more subtle, but it's no less powerful or important. Now, how about we think about finding ways we can reincorporate play into our adult lives and bring back that childlike adventure and wonder? If you're listening and thinking, I don't know how, my life is busy, stressful, and adult obligations are everywhere, you're not alone. You can begin to bring play back and incorporate it into your life here and there, little by little. Let's go through some ideas grounded in adult play research, and in bringing play back into our adulthood life, explore some examples of ways we can do this. 1. We can reconnect with our play history. Looking back to childhood, what did you love doing? What activities had you completely absorbed, time-losing, joyful, creative? Maybe you loved building things, reading, drawing, dancing, exploring outside, storytelling, daydreaming. These early loves often contain clues about your play nature. So, revisit your childhood joys. Your child self must have left clues for your adult self. Follow them. If you love drawing, why don't you buy yourself some art supplies? Loved being outdoors? How about going for a hike up a mountain or hill, or even climbing a tree? Walk barefoot in the grass. Go out and explore. Love reading? Make a cozy reading nook and have that space for dedicated reading sessions. Enjoyed performing? Sing or dance in your living room, or do both. Your inner child doesn't need huge gestures, just reconnection. 2. Find what play is for you now in the present. What kinds of activities, even what you think are small ones, make you feel drawn in, soulfully alive, or rested in a gentle way? Maybe it's gardening, walking in nature, painting, cooking, crafting, writing, playing music, gentle movement, puzzles, or get-togethers with friends. It doesn't need to look like childhood play. It just needs to feel engaging, voluntary, and internally satisfying. Another thing we can do is adopt a more playful mindset with reapproaching everyday tasks, like cooking dinner, taking the bus, cleaning, all with a different outlook of lightness, curiosity, and humor. Play isn't only a special activity, but it can also be a way of living and approaching life with more openness. We can turn everyday life into play, repeating that play isn't just an activity, but it's also an attitude. Adding lightness into life admin tasks and so forth can be through a mindset shift in the way we view the task at hand. Make chores a game, add music to your morning routine. Take yourself on a curiosity date. Talk in accents while cooking. Dress with a little more flair. Let yourself laugh at the small things. Life isn't meant to be only endured. It's meant to be touched with sweetness, and you can incorporate the element of play into that to add that touch. This may be difficult for our schedules sometimes, but one intentional action we can take is scheduling play into our routine. Life gets busy, and if play is reduced to, if there's spare time, it often doesn't happen. Treat play like a precious appointment and block out time for it. Protect it and honor it. Even small windows matter and make a difference. Try playing with others. Humans are wired to play together and socialize. Laughter is also co-regulation. Shared joy deepens bonds. Have a go at activities like game nights, dance classes, collaborative hobbies, or going on walks full of jokes and winding and turning conversations that go from one topic to another to anywhere it ends up going. Your inner child will appreciate the company from the people you love and care about. Whichever is your preference, do with others like previously mentioned, or play solo. Play can be social with friends, family, your community, or it can be solitary, such as reading, making art, and reflecting. Both are valid and nourishing. The social kind can deepen connection, empathy, and intimacy. The solo kind can help you reconnect with yourself, calm your mind, and restore energy. Another activity we can practice is microplay. It doesn't need to be hours long. It can even just be 5 minutes of, for example, silly dancing for the fun of it all, doodling, tossing a ball, trying a new song by vocally singing this or playing it on an instrument, building something small, doing puzzles, or wandering around without a purpose. Tiny moments still count. Remember, play is a state, not a schedule. Make space for joyful experimentation. Adulthood often hinders play because we fear looking silly or wasting time. So give yourself permission to experiment without mastery. Try pottery. Try roller skating. Bake outstanding or funny cakes. Learn a language through songs. Take photos of strange little things. Let joy be messy and authentic. A last point and reminder is to let go of the productivity guilt. Like rest is also productive, we can shift our mindset from what we think or have been told of what it means to be productive. Remind yourself that play isn't wasted time. It's not superficial or purposeless. It is not unproductive and has value for your time. We often see little habits or actions in the present moment as not being useful or helpful. But in the grand scheme of things and longer term, you will start to see how it impacts your life significantly over time, compounding and building up. Play contributes to nourishing your mind, your heart, and your relationships. It builds resilience, creativity, and adds to your well-being. It is, as some play scholars say, vital. Something to also note is that play is different for all of us. What's fun for one person may not be fun for another, despite it being the same activity. So do what feels fun for you. You know yourself best, and you know what you enjoyed as a kid. So play more in what resonates and feels fun to you and gets you into the play state of relaxing and being in the zone. Let's reflect on all of this and think about why this matters for us right now. In our lives, especially for many of us navigating work, stress, anxieties, societal pressures, the weight of adulthood, we often forget that we still carry inside us a capacity for play. We also often forget about our inner child that's still within us and our adult selves. When we forget this, we are missing out on something life-giving. Maybe we think we should be maturing or that adult life demands seriousness. Maybe we fear being judged as irresponsible or childish. But as the research shows, play for adults is necessary and valuable. When we reclaim play, we reclaim parts of ourselves. Our creativity, curiosity, joys, openness to wonder, and capacity to connect. We allow ourselves to heal, rest, and realign, and also give space for spontaneity and surprises. Let's close our eyes for a moment after this episode, breathe, and let ourselves remember. What felt like play when you were young? What lights you up? What makes time feel soft and wide, as though you're floating gently in a warm current of being? And even if it's just for 10 minutes or 15 or half an hour, let's make space for that. Because as we've already discussed, we don't stop needing play when we grow up. We just stop giving ourselves permission for it. So, adulthood becomes narrower, more serious, focused on outcomes, productivity, and survival. But your inner child, the soft, wide-eyed version of yourself, is still there inside, waiting for color, laughter, exploration, creativity, and joy that isn't earned but felt. Every time you allow yourself to play, you heal a part of your inner child. You tell them, I remember you, you're allowed to be here, you still matter. For those of us who grew up too fast, became responsible too early, and learned to be careful instead of carefree, play is almost like a medicine, in the sense that it teaches the nervous system safety, the heart softness, the body joy without apology, and the mind that fun doesn't need permission. Every playful moment gently says, you deserve this then, and you deserve this now. This is how we can cultivate a joyful adult life, not by forcing happiness, but by returning to the parts of ourselves that already knew how to create it. Ask your younger self or write down some notes, whatever you feel comfortable with, what you loved, what did or do you ache to do, what made your eyes sparkle. Then sometime this week, give that child, your younger self, a moment of your time. Let them play, choose, and feel joy and fun again. Adulthood becomes more bearable, meaningful, and beautiful when we remember how to have fun without reason. I hope you can take away something practical or inspirational from this discussion and the list of examples of activities. And go follow what lights you up, what makes your inner child feel loved, seen, and joyfully alive. Thank you for being here today and listening into this shared space of reflection. Hopefully this exploration of play influences your actions in your life to give yourself the gentle permission back to yourself, the joys, lightness, and wonder your child self had. Let's remember the art of simply being and hold space for moments of playfulness in our everyday life. Until next time.